Man, what is up with y'all boys, man? It's your boy Shane back with another video for y'all, man.
It feel like I'm on something. Home back down to no one. Maybe body rolls coming. You broke boys ain't having nothing. He try finesse, so I let the 4-4 go. He ran like he stole something. These niggas act like hoes playing.
It has been a little bit of a challenge bringing y'all some videos, man, because I just be so tired. I know I've slowed down on the content a little bit. That is my fault. I'm trying to get back in front of the camera and give y'all some more updates, but things just got busy, man. Things just got so busy. I think I posted a video maybe like 2 weeks ago at this point, which was my gas video. But yeah, I told y'all that once I hit 500 subscribers that I would bring y'all a Q&A video about Werner and the pay and everything like that. So that's the video we're gonna do today. Yeah, like I said, man, we just gonna hop into that just because, man, it's just been I've had a lot going on, man, and you know, all of it has just been working. I really have just been working, like working. They run you every single day at Werner, you know what I'm saying? So every week you're gonna be out somewhere. Last week, I think, like I said, I posted a video 2 weeks ago for y'all. And then the week after that, they sent me out to Arizona. So I was out in Arizona in the hot summer sun in the back there sweating, man. So I was not feeling like picking up no camera. I was not feeling like, you know what I'm saying, doing nothing extra. But we gotta hop back on the horse, man. So yeah, so I'm gonna finish getting dressed. I got some stuff I gotta knock out on my computer real fast. Stuff for the business. I gotta set up some more. I got a few emails to send and a couple counts to get created. But after that, then we're gonna go get breakfast. And then I'm probably gonna find somewhere nice to chill and do this video. I'm gonna go right now. I'm gonna go on my channel and under my videos and look up all the questions you guys have been asking, and I'm gonna create a list in my notes so that I can answer them for you guys right now. So yeah, let me go ahead and do that, and then yeah, we'll get on with the day. Today I got some errands to run, so I'm gonna just take y'all along with me as I do that, and then, you know, we just gonna find a nice place to sit down and answer some questions. So yeah, I'll see y'all in a minute. Peace. Okay, y'all, we at the park. I think y'all can hear me. So as y'all can see, I went and got my hair retwisted. I got my first ever color that I've ever done in my hair. I don't really do colors. Like I've never really dyed my hair before, but I wanted something different. So I was like, yeah, let me just get a color. So let me know how y'all fucking with it. You know what I'm saying? I got plates, whatever it's called, instead of 2-strand twist this time. So let me know how y'all feeling about it. But anyway, we're at the park right now. Wynn got my errands done, and so now I'm just gonna sit here and answer a few questions for y'all about Werner. I got an update for y'all. I kind of came to this conclusion a while back, but I mean, it's just something I've been kind of like, I don't know, I guess putting off just because I didn't really know if this was the right move for me or not. But anyway, we don't get into all of that right now. So I guess where should I start? I guess I'll start first with the questions. Okay, so let me pull up my questions here that I have for y'all, or that y'all have for me. So I think I have about like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I think I have like 10 questions that people were asking. So let's jump into it. So somebody said, Douglas Lake 6663 said, I legit just graduated from CDL school like April 11th. Werner came to my school for the We Need People brief, and I'm just trying to make sure that the pay is what they say it is or if it differs. I'm in Texas, not too sure where you are, honestly. I might have missed it, but any help or info would be appreciated. Okay, so I don't really know if they came to your school talking about some we need people brief. That is probably true, because Werner does need drivers. Werner is opening a few extra accounts that I know of. I don't know specifically what those accounts are, but I do know that they're opening some more. And I'm out here in California, Fontana, California, so I don't really know what's going down in Texas, but I do know that 9 times out of 10, they're only going to have either Dollar Tree or teaming 48 states, or sorry about that. Yeah, so Dollar Tree, teaming, or maybe a couple like home daily accounts, you know what I'm saying? But you'd have to check, so I'm not sure. But what I can tell you is about the pay. So I don't know about teaming. I don't know about like how much you make if you have a partner, but I have heard it's more. I have heard that Werner offers up to like 51 cents a mile if you are teaming. But then that 51 cents is divided between both drivers. If you're on a solo account, like I said, I don't know about Texas, but I do know out here in California, if you drive for Dollar Tree, we only make 11 cents per mile. And that's, I know it's crazy. I know it sounds crazy because it is crazy, but we only make 11 cents per mile. So with that being said, I mean, I would say make your choice based off that, you know what I'm saying? Based off of, go online, look up the jobs, type in your zip code, look up the jobs that they have, or the accounts that they have available in your area, and then see what, you know, is available. You know, the recruiters are always going to buff it up. The recruiters are always going to tell you, oh yeah, you're going to make like 1,400, 1,500, you know what I'm saying? You know, but they not in the truck with us. They not the ones that are on that road driving. So it's like, you have to take that with a grain of salt. Try your best and ask somebody like me, ask another driver. If you do go to orientation, ask an older driver that's been on that account, you know what I'm saying, for whatever account that you're looking for, and they'll tell you the real, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's all I got on that. So yeah, just do your research. I would say just you go to orientation, ask around for the account that you're on, and then move from there. Bear Freedom said, what kind of money are you making at Werner? Okay, so again, I drive the Dollar Tree account. I drive the solo Dollar Tree, which means I don't have a partner, but it also means that I'm semi-local. They shoot me out for maybe a day. The farthest I'll go is probably Arizona, and then I'm coming back, right? So during the week, I'm probably home maybe once or twice max every week, right? I think they guarantee you at least you're going to be home once a week if you're on a solo account. Teaming, it's like you're home for 4 days after like 3 weeks or 4 weeks, something like that. So anyway, the money that I make on the Dollar Tree account is solely dependent on how much I'm moving, how many loads I'm knocking out, right? So I'll get into the structure and how it all works later on with more questions, but essentially I bring in about I would say $9.50 to $10.50. All right, so post-editing Shane here. I'm editing the video right now, but I forgot to address something, right? I know that a lot of you guys are going to see the big numbers that I have posted up on my screen, like the 1429 or the 1356 or the 1322. Okay, that is the top high side of what you're going to make at Werner. Those weeks, I just want to clarify that's not a typical week for me. A typical week for me is about I'll say 1,100 to 1,200. That week, I had just figured out how to boost my earnings, and I didn't clock hack or anything like that. I just literally busted my ass. So those weeks, I was using a new system in the trailer to kind of make my loads go by faster, and I talked about it in one of my other videos too. But yeah, I was just busting my ass. So I would do maybe 4 loads or maybe 3 loads in a back haul, right? So 4 loads in total, or I would do 4 regular loads, 4 unloads, and then I do maybe I take an empty trailer back to the yard, which was an extra maybe $20 just because we get 11 cents per mile. So I just want to verify that number. You will probably not see that, okay? But that is, it's there if you guys want to make work that hard. I just wanted to see what the top of my earning potential at Werner could be, so I did that. So anyway, moving on back to the video. That's about $1,000, $1,050 a week, right? And that's manually unloading. I touch the freight 100%. I 100% touch freight. That freight does not move unless I get back there and touch it. So it's a lot of manual labor to make that, right? So about $950 to $1,000 is what I'm making. I figured out a way to kind of hack it myself, so I'm able to make I would say 1,100, but it's not really much more than that, to be honest. Wesley Nunez 3825 asked, do all Werner trucks come with fridges? No, all Werner trucks do not come with fridges. The newer ones do, but the older ones don't. You might get a truck that has no fridge, broken cabinets, you know what I'm saying? Maybe even torn up seats, you know what I'm saying? I don't think they're gonna let you be torn up too bad, but I have seen some trucks that have been internally in some pretty dinged up shape. Some drivers just do not care about the trucks. So moral story is the newer trucks do, but the older trucks, they won't. The older trucks won't have fridges in them. So you're going to have to figure out some sort of cooler situation for your drinks or your ice or however you want to do it. But yeah, that's just the gist of it. Next question. Tunes 4696 said, you got your own truck? Yes. I only have my own truck because I drive a solo account and I'm touching the freight. It's 100%
touch freight, right? With Werner, there's only 2 routes you can go. It's either you team with somebody or you get a solo truck. You can drive solo, but you're gonna be touching that freight if you solo. There's a couple situations where like special situations where like the driver can get a day cab, but obviously it's a day cab, it's not a sleeper, so you can be home daily if that account is available for you. You can be home daily, but it's not a sleeper, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna be in a day cab, limited space, that whole type of deal, right? They are going to avoid giving you a full-on sleeper cab if you aren't teaming, right? That's just the gist of how they roll. Okay, next question is from Silent Agony 1019. He said, right now I'm on teaming OTR, but how do you recommend the solo account that are mostly driver unload? They treat you good, ? Easy ins and out of shippers and receivers. Eventually my partner is going to want to split once he gets the situation situated. Ooh, man, I responded to this comment in one of my videos, but I'm going to respond to it here for you guys to understand as well. It's work. It's work. Do I recommend it? Yes, if you're willing to work. No, if you really know that all you're trying to do is hold that steering wheel, drive, you know what I'm saying, and then get to your location and be done with it. All right. I'm not even trying to like knock the people that just want to chill. It's not like a matter of being like, are you hardworking or lazy? It is literally just, do you want to put in the work or not? Okay. I don't know what the team drivers make. I've never teamed. I've heard you are able to make more, but I've also heard that with Werner, a lot of the teaming isn't worth it because you're splitting that cent per mile, right? So I don't know. I would personally say it is a lot of manual labor, man. There are days where, like, for example, it's summertime right now, so it's June. It's June 1st today, and last week, or the week before last week, they had sent me to Arizona. Man, Arizona in June is hot. I mean, like, insanely hot. Hot enough to where you can get heat flashes in the back of that trailer because I think I've told y'all this before. It could be like, it was like 93 out in Arizona. At the peak of the day, it was 93. In the trailer, it was like 96, right? And that's because the trailer is 3 degrees hotter inside the trailer. And the further back you go, the hotter it gets. And you can really feel that. So, I mean, that's only because I'm getting sent out to Arizona because I'm out of the Fontana terminal. So I don't know if you live in a different area and they got that Dollar Tree account. Yeah, they're gonna send you a state away. They're gonna send you, they're gonna send you out a couple states. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna be manually unloading that trailer. That's why the pay for us is what it is because we get paid solely. How do I say this? The ability to make money for us depends on how much freight we can move, essentially, right? So yeah, I would say, dude, if you really want to put in some work and try to make that, $1,000 to, $950 to $1,000 a week, and you think that that's worth it, and you want to basically have your own truck, go do it. By all means, try it out. You know what I'm saying? Do it for 3 months. That's the minimum you have to stay on that account. If you switch to it, I think it's any account with Werner. Any account you're on, you have to stay a minimum of 3 months, and then after those 3 months, you're able to go wherever you want, right? That's considering you don't have any write-ups or like records, you know what I'm saying, like dings on your record or whatever, because then they're gonna stop you for another 3 months, and that's one other story. But anyway, yeah, that's my answer. If you want to do the work, if you think you up for it, go do it. The pay is decent for your first ever trucking job, but I would not suggest like experienced drivers come here unless you just want to be under a mega company that's gonna pay for everything. That's the only reason I would say come here as an experienced driver. But if you're new and you need a job and you need some experience under your belt, knock out 6 months like I did. You know what I'm saying? Do 6 months, knock it out, get up out of there. You feel me? Next question. 37 said, is the Atlas map stuff a pass or fail? That's all I'm worried about, really. No, so the Atlas stuff is not a pass or fail. They're just teaching it to you just so that you know how to use it. They don't even give you an Atlas in your truck. You don't get an Atlas. You get a briefing in orientation about how to use it. But when it comes to actually using it and like studying up on it, that's up to you, man. Like, they teach it to you so that you have it as a point of reference when you're in those tough spots. Say your EOD goes out, or you get to an area where you don't have Wi-Fi, you can't just do Apple Maps, you know what I'm saying, or something like that, or Google Maps. But yeah, no, it's not pass or fail. It's not like they're not gonna give you no test on the Atlas. All right, that just doesn't happen. So yeah, so no worries about that. So somebody said, do they have hair follicle drug test? Yes, they hair follicle drug test 1000%. Okay, you will not get in a Werner truck without that hair follicle drug test. So you know what I'm saying, if you smoking, you know what I'm saying, got some shit in your system, man, I would even go as far as to say don't even have alcohol in your system, because I played it safe. I can only tell you from my experience. I played it 100% safe. I don't really smoke. I don't smoke. I don't really drink. I mean, I had nothing to worry about when I went and did my hair follicle, but I know there's people out there that do. So I would say if you're trying to come to Werner, man, stay off that for like 3 to 6 months and then come. You know what I'm saying? Because they will turn you down if your hair follicle comes back positive. You know what I'm saying? They do hair follicle drug tests. So yeah, that's just what it is. Next question. Okay, so somebody said, so it's McRispy 9318. He said, appreciate the info, brother. Starting orientation this Tuesday, and I'm being put on the dedicated Coca-Cola route. That's a nice route. I ain't gonna lie. That's gonna be a nice account. Can't wait. Do you have any tips for the OTR training portion? Okay, tips for the OTR training portion that I would say is, I got a really dope trainer. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. My trainer was young, like me. You know what I'm saying? He was about like, I think he was about like 35. You know what I'm saying? So we weren't too different in age. So we got along well. I was in his truck for maybe about 3 weeks, and then they let me go, or he basically, he was like, yeah, you're good. He's like, just go on ahead and do it. So he pushed me through for that 4th week, so I didn't have to do that 4th week. So I was with him for 3 weeks, and I'm not gonna lie, the experience was cool. You know what I'm saying? You know, I was talking. The only thing I would probably have to say about it was that, you know, like he allowed me to have an AirPod in and be on the phone while I was driving, so that made it easier. I wasn't just like staring at open road for hours on end. You know what I'm saying? I could call somebody, I could talk to him. You know what I'm saying? He didn't mind that. My trainer would go in the back and he would sleep while I was driving, so I didn't really have much pressure from him to, you know, to drive right. I want to say, I don't know if that's the right wording, but like in the beginning, don't get me wrong, in the beginning he was watching me drive. Like the first, second week he was watching me drive. He was up there with me. We would do maybe about 6 hours or so, and then he'd hop to the back once we get close to our destination. But I would say from my experience, any tips I could give you would just be to bring a pair of headphones, right? Bring some headphones. Bring like a tablet or a phone that you know what I'm saying? Everybody has a phone, but bring like a tablet that you can watch TV on while while your trainer is driving. Because you will be essentially team driving. That's essentially what you're doing, right? The trainer's making money, you're making a little money, but it's essentially for you to get training. So bring a pillow for your head, because I know like at first I had only 2 pillows in the truck, and it was kind of uncomfortable at first because I was like bumping around at the top of the sleeper. So I used kind of like a third pillow. I brought like 3 pillows, and I used that third pillow to kind of like wedge me in so that when he like stopped, I wouldn't just like roll out the sleeper. That was a fear that I had. I don't know why. I was fine, but yeah, and just try your hardest not to piss off your trainer. You know what I'm saying? I've heard some trainer horror stories, and I'm sure you have heard some trainer horror stories, and it can get bad, okay? Like it does get bad, but you know, if you're lucky enough, you can end up with a trainer that really, you know what I'm saying, caters to you and caters to, you know, you get to know him a little bit. So now, like me and my trainer, for example, we cool. I see that man every now and then at the terminal. I say what's up to him. I see him at the DC. We chatted up for a little bit, and then, you know, off to another load. So I would just say, try to make your training experience with another driver as smooth as possible, because I mean, you will bump into that person later on at the terminal, something like that. And essentially, you just don't want them to make your life hell for that time that you got to be with them. You know what I'm saying? So I would just say, try to get along with whoever you get placed with, even if you load that person, even if you just can't deal with that person, figure out a way to deal with them, because it's only for a month. If you're a placement driver, it's gonna be, you know, I think you gotta do like 3.5 to 4 weeks of driving. But if you're an experienced driver, which is your advanced placement driver, then I think it's only like maybe 2 to 3 weeks, like it was for me. So that's the best tip I can give you, honestly. Just try not to make your life hell when you're in the truck, essentially. Again, somebody asked, 314 Murder Capital said, how much you get paid for all that? So here's the pay structure. I'm gonna break it down for y'all. Here's the pay structure. We get paid for the Dollar Tree account. I don't know about teaming, okay, but I do know about the Dollar Tree account. Here's how it works. We get paid 11 cents per mile, right? It's not a whole lot, okay? There is no reason for you to be doing like 300 some odd mile trips at 11 cents per mile, because I'm telling you, bro, your check when you look at that mileage, it's not equal. I did an Arizona trip that was like 322 miles, and the pay that I got on my check for the mileage alone was only like $34.26. I'm so dead serious. We get paid. The bar is in hell for cent per mile for Werner. I don't understand why. For solo accounts, they don't They do not pay for miles. So there's no point for you to do these long ass extended trips. Try and talk to your fleet manager. That's the biggest piece of advice I got for you, honestly. Make your miles worth the money. You know what I'm saying? If they ain't paying, which they not, do not be going all the way out there for them people, because it's like you're gonna get fucked over every time. Anyway, so we get paid 11 cents per mile. We get $17 an hour, and we get paid $103 per trailer, right? And then we get paid every Friday. So max that I think the average person is going to be able to do is 3 loads a week. You really only have time to do 3 loads a week. You can bust out 4 loads, maybe even 3 loads in a back haul if you are really, really on point with using your clock, right? But I'm gonna tell you right now, they do not allow you to clock hack, right? So like, I know for example, a lot of drivers in my terminal were doing something called clock hacking, which is where you essentially save your clock, you get out, unload the first stop of the store for free, and then you turn on your clock so that you can save that time. If your first store takes 6 hours to unload, well, when you get back in the truck and you turn on your clock, you now have an additional 6 hours, because to the company on paper, you were still in sleeper, you know what I'm saying? So you have those 6 hours. You can use those 6 hours to drive home. You can use those 6 hours to get to wherever you need to go and still be good, right? But the company is cracking down on that hard. So I would not suggest you going into Werner doing anything like that anymore. But anyway, yeah, 11 cents per mile, $17 per hour, and $103 per trailer. So you'll only be able to really knock out 3 trailers a week. So that's what, $103 a trailer, that's $303, right? On top of your hourly that you're going to be getting, and on top of the cent per mile that you're going to be getting. So like I told you, you only get 11 cents per mile, so that's not going to be a whole lot of money. But also remember that you're getting paid hourly, right? And we work essentially 70 hours. You will pretty much, you're going to work about 65, 67 hours, you know what I'm saying, per week, right? That's just because they're always going to keep you running. We run Monday through Friday, right? So at the end of your week, you may only have an additional 10 hours to use to get back. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really, you're going to use those 60, 65 hours for sure. So that's, if you do that math, that's essentially what gets your checks all the way up to like $900 to $1,000 is you're getting paid, you're getting the majority of your money by your hourly, and majority of it's coming from your unload pay, not really your mileage pay. So that's how that works. I hope that clarified that for you guys. Yeah, just, if you are super hard working and you think you can bust out four loads a week, by all means. That's what the recruiters are going to tell you. The recruiters are going to sugarcoat everything. They're going to amp up everything, right? The recruiters are going to tell you you can make $1,400 to $1,500 on average. They're going to tell you their average driver is making $1,400 to $1,500. No. Average driver is probably making $1,000 to $1,200, and that's if they are an experienced driver that is getting the local loads, right? Because if you get local loads and you're able to make it home on a more occasional basis, which means you are getting more loads, right? Because you're going from DC to the store, delivering, and then going back to DC to pick up another load. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna tell you about $1,400, but you're not gonna see $1,400. You're gonna see probably about 11 to 12, if 12, and 12 is on the high side. $1,200, you did good for your week at $1,200. You know what I'm saying? Only a select few people are about to get that, but the average driver, you're gonna get about $1,000, $1,050, somewhere in that range. So anyway, let's see. Moving on. Ek _ Ellie said, love the video, man. I'm from San Bernardino myself, so Fontana is not that far from me. Also glad to see another brother hustling and doing his thing. Appreciate you, bro. I'm 20 and I'm interested in being a truck driver. Hopefully in a video you can address how to get started in the industry, like what trucking school to go through and stuff like that if you haven't already. Okay, so I'm gonna make a separate video on this. This is actually a question that I get quite a lot. I already had experience before I came to Werner, which is why I got set as a placement driver instead of like a newbie, which only just helped me during the training process, because I mean I didn't have to do as much training as the average person does. But that's pretty much it. Okay, I would say if you can, Werner will not hire you if you don't have at least 1 month experience, and they will verify where you got that 1 month from. And I think that's so stupid, because fresh out of CDL school, like, where are you supposed to go to get your experience? Where are you going to get only 1 month experience at that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I never understood why they have it set up like that. So I'm not gonna lie, if you can get anybody to say that you have had some sort of trucking experience on your resume when you apply to Werner, let them, you know what I'm saying? Go to them, ask them, because it's the dumbest thing ever. Like, Werner will make you they want you to have 1 month experience before you're eligible to be hired to drive for them. Dumbest shit ever, right? And I obviously know getting your CDL and then trying to get a job after you get your CDL is one of the hardest things you could do as a trucker, because it's like nobody wants to touch you because you're so new. But the moral story is I'll make a separate video on that, about how I got my CDL and what I had to do and all that type of stuff. So that video's coming. Let's see. Do you do LTL trucking? Is it like your OTR but part-time over to OTR? I like it. Been thinking about getting into it myself. I'm not sure. To be honest with you, I'm not even gonna lie. I don't really know what LTL means. I call it semi-local, and maybe that's what it means. But yes, I would consider myself semi-local, right? Not regional, not OTR, but semi-local, because the farthest that they're gonna send me out of this account in Fontana is Arizona, right? I could be in Arizona for like, what, you drive out there the first day, you deliver the second day, and then you drive back the third day. So you're out there for a total of about 2.5 days, right? And then you will come back to the terminal, and then, you know, you can go home, shower and everything like that. And then the next day you're gonna be back at the terminal for another load, right? The farthest that they're gonna send you, or send me in this case, is Arizona. I haven't been to Vegas, Utah, none of that. It's always just Arizona. So yes, because of that, I would say that it's semi-local, right? Other than Arizona loads, I'm gonna be doing local loads around Los Angeles, around the, you know, Inland Empire area, or just around the Southern California area, I would say. So yeah, it's semi-local. Somebody said, how long was you training with Werner? I trained for 3.5 weeks. No, I trained for 3 weeks and a day, because that day we spent driving home. After that, he cleared me. I was good. So yeah, the typical average driver, if you're not a placement driver and you have no experience coming to Werner, then you're gonna do 4 weeks. You're gonna do 4 weeks in the truck with a trainer, or until they feel comfortable enough to sign you off, right? Could you explain? Somebody said, could you explain how the DOT physical process was with Werner? Okay, I didn't do a DOT physical process with Werner. I went to a third party, I guess you could say, clinic, and got my DOT physical, and that was easy. I think I paid like $70, $60, something like that, and they went and did all the paperwork, right? They gave me a sheet after I did my physical, and I brought that to Werner and submitted it along with all my information, my insurance, not my insurance, but my license, my DOT physical card, and all that. I don't even know if Werner offers a DOT physical. I'm sure they do, because they're a mega company, but I just went to a third party to get it all out of the way. When I came to Werner, I wanted to make sure that I had everything I needed to basically make the process as smooth as possible going forward. So that's what I did. That's what I suggest you do, honestly, because it's not really that much. It's $70, maybe even cheaper for whatever area you're in. California's expensive, so yeah. Okay. Any other questions? No, I think those were all my questions. So yeah, those were all the questions that I had from you guys, that I picked out the video. So if you have any more, obviously drop them down below on this video. And then yeah, we're at 26 minutes right now, so I'm gonna spend the rest of the time giving y'all an update on what's been going on with me recently, and my big update. So we're gonna get into that right now. So okay, so big update, right? And this is what I was hesitant to tell y'all this, just because like I only really made up my mind about this last week because of another update that I have. But essentially, I am quitting Werner. Okay, I'm leaving Werner and I'm going to another company, because I've spent 6 months here now, and I'm just tired of moving boxes, right? That's essentially what it is. I don't want to touch the freight no more. I've done it. I got my experience in enough to be able to have a little bit more wiggle room with where I can drive and who I can drive for. So I'm taking that liberty. I got offered a driving position with an Amazon freight partner, so I'm gonna go do that, right? And there's a couple reasons why I'm quitting Werner. Again, one of the main ones is because it's all touch freight. They don't offer a solo driving account unless you touch the freight, which is annoying to me, because it's like, I mean, I don't want to be in a truck with another person, you feel me? I don't really want to team drive. I have a life here, you know what I'm saying? And I like the fact that I can come home and kind of just plug myself back into my life on the weekends, right? But speaking of weekends, that's another thing. On this account, you're only going to get a day and a half off. You get a 34-hour reset, right? And they tell you get your weekends, quote unquote, off, but you don't, right? There have been days where I've spent my Saturday driving back from Arizona because they gave me a Friday delivery in Arizona, or days where I got stuck. I had a Friday delivery and I got stuck out there in whatever city that was, so I had to spend my Saturday morning driving back and, you know, going to the DC, unhooking, dropping off the load, stuff like that. So I don't really like that, because the moment, even after I get back to the DC, after I drop off that empty trailer and then go back to the terminal, the moment I turn off my clock, it puts me on my 34-hour reset. So my 34 starts the minute I turn my clock off. You know what I'm saying? And essentially, the moment your 34-hour reset ends, they're going to assign you another load to go right back out. You know what I'm saying? So that could be like, I get home, say I get home on Saturday, Saturday morning, I get to the terminal Saturday morning, I turn off my clock at 10, you know what I'm saying? A 34-hour reset, I'm not going to do that math in my head like that, but probably by late Sunday night, early Monday morning, they gonna send me a message on my ELD to pick up my next load. And often they'll probably try to do it late that Sunday night so that you can be on the road for Monday, ready to go on Monday, right? And that's just kind of how it works, right? You have 34 hours to kind of have your weekend, have your day, you feel me? But after those 34 hours are up, you're still back on company time. And that's what I haven't been liking about Werner, about trucking in general, is that you're always on the clock. Every single moment of every day, you're on the working clock, right? You don't really get time off. Time off is non-existent in the trucking industry, especially with Werner, because like there's been days like even last week where I needed to get to the DMV and I can't just call off and be like, hey guys, like listen, I need a day. I can't just call a week ahead and be like, hey guys, I need next Wednesday off, or I need Friday off because I need to go take care of the stuff at the DMV. No, they want you to put in a 2 weeks notice beforehand, right? And I understand that, but not everything in life is planned out or just happens within 2 weeks that I can send 2 weeks notice. So I'm not really liking that whole thing. But essentially, all I'm trying to say is, I want my weekends. I want to be able to have my Saturday and my Sunday and then go to work back on Monday. So maybe something local is what I need to be looking for. So that was the touch freight is the first reason I'm leaving. The second reason is because of my weekends. Oh, the third reason is because the pay. Okay, I am just tired of getting $1,000 paychecks. I feel like for the miles that they have me running 5 days a week. I don't know how many miles. I feel like I should have more pay. I feel like I should be getting paid a little bit more. I understand that $1,000 is where people normally be at or start off at, but me personally, if I could get to 12, I'd be cool. I don't think 12 is asking for too much. I really don't think $1,200 a week is asking for too much. You know what I'm saying? I'd be blessed to hit 14 somewhere. Maybe I'll get that number after I hit my 1 year, but I don't think $1,200 a week. I mean, it's too much to ask for a starting job. So maybe food service is better to get that, or maybe even McLean has, I'm able to make that much with McLean because I'm touching the freight and it's like food service. So I don't know. I don't really know, but pay has been an issue for me because I get mad as fuck sometimes when I have worked my butt off the entire week, and maybe because my dispatch didn't want to give me a third load for the week, I'm only able to get like a $960 check just because I don't have that extra $100 boosting me up into the $1,000 range. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of pisses me off. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And then the fourth reason is simply just because my truck is in the shop, right? So I have not been working this last week. I got an entire week off because my truck went down, right? So as I was driving back from Arizona 2 weeks ago, the transmission light of my truck was going on and off, right? It was go ding, ding, and as I was driving, my dash lit up full red, right? And the message that it read on my dash was, I don't know if you drive a Peterbilt, but if you do, anybody that does knows that when there's a transmission fault, it'll say stop driving immediately or damage will occur, or damage to transmission will occur, right? And so when I seen that, I was on the way back from Arizona at like 12 midnight, right? If anything was to happen, if the truck was just to like start smoking from the engine, if anything was to happen, I would have been stranded in the middle of Arizona or in the middle of the desert, right? In between Arizona and California, basically until morning, until somebody could come and get me. And I just did not like that. I didn't like the thought of that, right? So, I mean, like, yeah, I mean, I could go more into that story, but it's really redundant. I almost got stuck outside of Arizona. Maybe I could have made a video on it, but yeah, anyway, I almost got stranded in the desert, essentially. And I just did not like the way that felt because they not finna come get me, you know what I'm saying? There's no 24-hour support that was gonna be able to drive their butt out there in the middle of like the boonies, you know what I'm saying, and come pick me up, you know what I'm saying, because my truck is faulty, you know what I'm saying? So moral story is, all of this week this past week, today's Sunday, so this past week I've been off since Monday essentially because my truck's been in the shop, and so I'm just waiting, at this point. But yeah, man, so those are about like my 4 reasons as to why I'm leaving Werner. I wouldn't say that I've had a bad experience with them, because I haven't. They've been true to their word in the sense that I've gotten my experience, you know what I'm saying, or I got some experience from them, enough to be able to move to something else and feel comfortable about my trucking experience and the way I'm able to maneuver the truck and drive and everything. So I think it served its purpose, is what I'm trying to say. I don't really feel like I owe them anything. I don't feel like I really need to have anything left to prove. I would prefer if they had another solo driving account where I didn't have to team drive, and if they had that, maybe I would stay longer, but I just have no will to move that much freight anymore, at least not 100% of it. Maybe I'll do something with like 80% touch freight, 70% touch freight, or maybe even live unload, or maybe even live load, you know what I'm saying? I would do something like that, but just having 100% touch freight, especially now that it's getting the summertime, I just don't want to be in the back of that trailer sweating like I was, man. I mean, look at me, you know what I'm saying? I'm not fat or nothing like that, you feel me? But at the same time, it's like, I'd rather just deliver the load, drop it off, you know what I'm saying? Do my pre-trip, do my pre-trip inspection, you know what I'm saying? Post-trip inspection, and then call it a day, you know what I'm saying? And I don't have any shame in saying that, you feel me? But yeah, doing 100% touch freight, just not interested anymore. I did it to get my experience, but now I got 6 months logged on my record. I'm good. I'm cool. Y'all gotta have it. So, but yeah, man. So, if you enjoyed the video, man, please drop a comment below, like, subscribe. I still will be filming content for y'all at the next company I go to. I'm gonna be filming content this entire time. I know I've been slow on the content, but again, I haven't been driving for like a week, so I've just been kind of just sitting. So, yeah, man. Yeah, if you have any more questions, just make sure to drop them down in the comments below. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see y'all boys in the next video.
2,500 plus a couple utilities. Fuck it, I pay it just to keep the tranquility. Fuck it, I love you, I'll do anything for you. Except settle down with you, I don't want nobody grilling me.